Hey guys, my name is Jessica and welcome back to another Table Talk episode. Today we're diving into a very important topic that I've been wanting to cover for a while now, and that is how to budget and save your money in your 20s. 2025 feels like the year where everyone is talking about multiple income streams and financial freedom. And while that's great and everything, I think that it really starts with the small day-to-day choices that add up. So in this episode, I'm going to walk you through the things that I do to save money as a low-maintenance boss girly, all while still treating myself here and there. I'll also share how I budget around my multiple income streams and keep track of my finances. Let's start with one of the biggest things that people spend money on without even realizing it, and that is beauty and grooming. I, for one, do not get my lashes done, and I don't get my eyebrows done. I also try to avoid going to the hair salon, the nail salon, tanning salon, or paying for any hair removal services. And just to make it clear, it's not that I avoid taking care of myself or don't do any of these things. I just do it on my own time and my own dime, because in this economy. So to keep it simple, here are some product recommendations that I personally use rather than paying to go to the salons to get this stuff done. For my eyebrows, I keep it simple and I just use a pair of tweezers. I haven't gotten my eyebrows done in probably 10 years. However, I will say I am blessed to have naturally thicker eyebrows. Like ever since I was a little girl, these eyebrows have stayed the same. So maintaining them with tweezers every now and again works just fine for me. I used to pay to get them waxed, but I didn't like how the person was waxing my eyebrows, and so I just decided to take matter into my own hands and maintain them myself. For lashes, I like to use these lash clusters from Amazon and this lash glue and glue remover from Kiss. I have never been a lash girly. I just recently got into lashes this past year because they make me feel like a baddie every single time I do them. But it's not something that I personally would like to have 24/7 because your girl has allergies and I'm constantly rubbing at my eyes. And I heard that if you get lash extensions done routinely, you cannot rub at your eyes. And that's just not a life for me. For general hair removal, I just keep it simple with shaving cream and a razor. I'm blanking on what brands I use right now, but I will add them here or here. My everything showers are sacred to me. Girlies, or anyone else who has everything showers, if you know, you know. You come out feeling like a whole new person after you're done an everything shower. And to me, I like spending time on myself, taking care of myself every once in a while. I don't mind doing it, and so therefore I don't feel a need to expend money on different salons. Obviously, I get my hair done. I get it cut every Lunar New Year. I hardly ever get it dyed anymore. I dyed it recently for a indie movie that I did, but after I go dark brown, I'm not really touching hair dye again. In the future, when I'm rich and famous, maybe I'll consider getting laser hair removal just so I never have to deal with that again. But that is a huge investment. I think people spend around or over $6,000 for laser hair removal, and that is just not within my current budget right now. As for nails, I love a mani-pedi moment, especially at my nail salon for pedicures. They give you such a nice foot rub, calf massage, the whole 9 yards. Do not get me wrong, but I only get my nails done for special occasions. Think weddings, which is why I got these nails done recently, birthdays, events, or if I'm going to the beach and I want to get a nice pedicure. Those are the only times that I will go to the nail salon and get my nails done. For the most part, I do my own nails, whether that's using regular nail polish, using press-ons, which my favorite press-ons are also from Kiss. I use them all the time and they last up to 2 weeks if you apply them correctly. But not getting my nails done every month saves me hundreds of dollars throughout the year. Now, this portion isn't to say I'm not like other girls, because I do enjoy pampering myself. But again, I truly don't mind taking care of myself on my own time and on my own budget. However, I will say that I would like to start treating myself to a Korean bathhouse experience at least once every business quarter. I actually went to one this past summer for my birthday with my family and I absolutely loved it. We spent 6 to 7 hours there just popping in and out of all of the different saunas, getting massages, doing sheet masks, eating yummy Korean food, drinking shike, and soaking in the public bathhouses. The total experience was a little over $200, including admissions to access all of the stuff that I just named and the massage. But we also went on a weekend and on family day, which are typically pricier than just going on a regular weekday. While I was there, I overheard this group of girlies talking in the sauna, saying how they should treat themselves to this whole entire experience at least once every business quarter. And I honestly loved that idea. So I'm actually going to start saving around $60 to $65 per month every 3 months, so that by the end of each business quarter, I can treat myself to a Korean bathhouse experience. I'm going to personally think of it as a little quarterly reset, because I'm one to never go to the spa or treat myself to massages, and it would be nice to just treat myself, especially at the end of each business quarter, as a little push to just keep going. Another big expense is shopping. I barely shop. But when I do, it's either from the sales section, the thrift store, using a discount code, or if I'm browsing in Target and I see a cute top that I like, I will only treat myself to the one top. And when I am shopping, I'm always mindful of only purchasing timeless pieces that I can wear over and over again. It's important to understand fast fashion trends, how to not chase them or be sucked into them, and instead find unique pieces that will last. The other thing I cut down on is takeout and eating out in general. Ordering Uber Eats or Grubhub can add up, and it's actually so much more expensive than just cooking your own meals or meal prepping, especially with the service fees and taxes. Forget about it. I try to cook at home as much as possible. It doesn't have to be anything fancy. Sometimes it's just a simple stir fry or a bowl of pasta, but it saves so much money in the long run. And that leads us into grocery shopping. When I'm grocery shopping, I've gotten very strategic. I plan my meals for the month, freeze my meat so it doesn't spoil, and only bring it out to thaw when I'm ready to cook it. And I buy frozen veggies, because not only do they last longer, but they keep me from wasting food. And wasting food is basically wasting money. Where I live, I think the cheapest grocery store is Aldi's. So that's also something else to keep in mind, is what grocery sells what at what price, so that you're not just spending your money recklessly, like you're actually being mindful of the prices. Now let's talk about income streams, because saving is only half the equation. In my 20s, I realized that I just didn't want to rely on one income stream. Right now, my income streams include YouTube, freelance social media marketing, and acting. And having those different streams of income helps me feel more secure. If you are freelancing or self-employed, one of my biggest financial tips is to always set aside 30% of every invoice that you receive. And that 30% is going towards your savings to then go towards taxes at the end of each year. I am not exaggerating when I say that every single invoice that I get, I set aside 30% of it right away. I don't even see it. That is not money for me to dispose of. It goes right into my business savings. Now for taxes, you can choose to pay quarterly, which every accountant will advise you to, but I just like to save up and pay it in bulk at the end of the year, because I don't like the idea of overpaying each quarter. I don't like the idea of the government having more money than they need to. And while you do get penalized for paying bulk at the end of the year, the penalty is never that high compared to overpaying X amount quarterly, if that makes sense. And paying it at the end of each year just makes tax season for me less stressful, because I have a bulk summary of what I owe and I pay it right away because it's already in my business savings. In addition to setting aside 30% of each invoice, I also set aside $30 each month into a Roth IRA. $30 may not sound like much at all, but remember, your money always compounds. $30 may not look like much right now, but when you check your retirement savings in the next 20, 30 years down the line, then you will thank yourself for starting earlier. And for those of you that don't know, that is essentially what a Roth IRA is. It is a retirement savings that I believe you do not get taxed on when you pull out, and there is no age limit as to when you can pull out of your Roth IRA. But the rule of thumb is to never pull out of your retirement savings. You want to keep everything in there so that it keeps compounding. And as a freelancer or someone who's self-employed, you don't have a 401k set up through whatever company you're working for, because you're working for yourself. So I would highly recommend setting up a Roth IRA for yourself. It's so easy and quick to do. You can do it online. So if you haven't already, definitely set up a retirement savings for yourself. And Even if you aren't self-employed and you have a 401k through your company, a Roth IRA is nice to have on the side because again, you're diversifying not only your income streams, but your savings. Another pro tip is to be aware of any big annual or semi-annual expenses that you have. For example, I keep track of when my car insurance payment is coming up and when my renter's insurance is coming up, and it's actually coming up next month. So if you want to leave a like and comment on this video to help boost engagement to help me pay that insurance, that'd be great. Thank you guys. If I know that it will be a heavy month for me, I will turn down more plans or say no to extra spending so that I have more money in my account and I don't feel blindsided. And November just so happens to be around the holidays. So you know what? I'm just gonna have to take the L because, you know, between Christmas shopping, birthday shopping, because my sister's a Capricorn, it's fine. Here's a hot take. I don't pay for vision insurance. For me, that is an expense that makes more sense to pay out of pocket. A one-time vision exam cost me around $200 to $300, but it lasts for up to 1 to 2 years versus paying $200 a month for coverage that I don't really need. Cutting back on your expenses is just about being honest with yourself and what's worth it and what isn't, what you need versus what you don't need. And for those of you curious, I do pay for my health and dental insurance, just not vision. The real key though is to just know where your money is going. Whether you use a finance tracker app or you're old school like me and you bullet journal or hand log all of your finances. The point is, writing it down or logging it helps you visualize your money flow. For me, I started bullet journaling all of my finances ever since college. So this has been an ongoing habit for me where I just sit down at least once or twice a month and handwrite all of my income and all of my expenses. I see every dollar that goes in and out of each of my bank accounts, both personal and business. And this way, I can't be neglectful of the money that goes in and out of my accounts. If you'd like a more in-depth look in how I plan my finance tracker each month, then just comment below. And before we move on to the final portion, let's address your mindset. Being low maintenance does not mean that you are depriving yourself of life's pleasures. It just means that you're being intentional. You're just choosing where you splurge and where you save. For me, I'd rather skip a $60 lash refill every week and instead put that money towards my quarterly spa days, which I know will feel so special to me. So if you're in your 20s and you feel like saving money is impossible, just start small. Choose one category in your life to cut back on, whether that's takeout, beauty services, or subscriptions that you may not even be aware that you have. That alone can add up to hundreds a month. At the same time, look into ways to build extra income streams. It doesn't have to be huge. Maybe it's freelance work. Maybe it's selling something that you make. Or maybe it's just monetizing a hobby like how I did with YouTube. Every extra dollar counts and it all compounds. And the biggest thing is to not compare your financial journey with anyone else's. Some people love spending money on beauty or pampering themselves. Some people splurge on traveling. The key is finding your balance, your priorities, and making money decisions that align with your values. All right, fam, that is all for today's Table Talk episode and my honest breakdown of how I budget and save money as a self-proclaimed low-maintenance boss girly in 2025. If you try out any of these tips, then let me know or comment below your own money-saving hacks. And remember, it's never about being perfect or having the ideal lifestyle. It's about being mindful and intentional with how you spend your money. If you haven't already, be sure to subscribe for more Table Talk episodes where I talk about all things life with you. And I will see you all in the next episode. Bye!